Hey all, Hipper here. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Sea of Conquest, and welcome back to Season 3, where we're going to be looking at the new ship in Season 3 called the Satjit. So the ship, is specific to Season 3 or exclusive to Season 3. It's a buildable ship, and of course what you want to do here is to get the legendary version. And if you can't manage that, get the epic version. Do not get the rare version, right? It's pretty much a waste, and getting an epic version is really not that much more effort. So obviously legendary is best, and that's what I have done here. So you can get the ship in two ways. The first way is just to simply craft it using blueprints and hammers, which you can get from different sources. They're all listed in the game, so just click on the ship and say go get, and it will tell you where to get the blueprints, right? A lot of people ask me that. So for example here, Cartographer's Corner, there's blueprints for Satjit. And you'll need a certain amount of blueprints and a certain amount of hammers to create one copy of the ship. And the ship could be rare, epic, or legendary if you're lucky, right? And the more copies of the ship you craft, the higher the chance you will have to get a legendary version. The other way to do this is to simply just purchase the ship, the legendary version, outright. It's expensive, it's 150 Australian dollars, but I did the crafting in Season 2, and I reckon I spent around that amount anyway. And it does save you all the grief you get from crafting, where you can, if you're unlucky, have to craft 10 versions of the ship to actually get a legendary. And that becomes expensive. So if you're going to pay just a little bit to get this ship, I suggest that you simply just pay for it outright and just have it done with. And of course, think ahead, because no one says you absolutely have to have this ship. I mean, if you don't want an artillery build in your lineup, well, then you don't need the ship. For example, the Fearless Princess, I don't have that because I specifically waited for this ship in Season 3 before I wanted to focus on an artillery build. So just, make a plan for how you are approaching the game and how you want to grow your fleet. Because why would I spend money on Fearless Princess in Season 1 or Season 2 when I can simply get Satjit in Season 3, which is much better, and just focus on the artillery build in Season 3, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So, think ahead. And like I said, you can be so unlucky you have to craft 10 of the ships to get the legendary version. So I'll just say again that if you have the money and you really want this ship, I recommend just buying it outright. So of course, once you are up at the higher levels or higher levels here, 25 plus, getting a new ship is not just a matter of getting a new ship, because you actually have to level it as well. And leveling a ship from level 1 to level 25 and higher, it gets very expensive and resource intensive. So that's also why I'm saying don't get the ship just for the sake of getting it. Get it if you really need it and you really want a good artillery build. If you don't care about artillery build, or you have a strategic build or whatever instead, don't bother about it. A nice added bonus when you buy the legendary ship outright is that all the skills are guaranteed to be legendary, and they're all pretty good. Actually, I think they're the best skills. So if you look here at the ultimate skills, the one you get when you purchase the ship outright is the Bombard skill, which I think is the best. If you look at all three ultimate skills here, I'm just going to go through them here. You can see that Bombard actually gives you 240% of a normal attack every around third attack. That looks pretty good to me, and that's the one you get when you purchase the ship. You are not guaranteed that if you craft it right, and you cannot change the ultimate skill if you craft a ship. Just keep that in mind. Also, the unique skills are pretty good, and combat experience I think is the best. That's also the one that's on the legendary ship, because it buffs your artillery damage up to 15% and your armor up to 9%. So it's better than the other two skills. Of course, it takes a little bit, every 6 basic attacks, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's the best skill. Now, like I said in the beginning, if you can get a legendary Satjit, that's obviously best. But if you can get an epic version, that's also good enough. If you're free to play, for example, and you get an epic version, just stick with that. There's no need, unless you drowning in blueprints to try to get a legendary version. Instead, focus on refining the skills of your epic Satjit, so you get the best skills. Like you see, this one here actually has quite good skills, except for the ultimate skill, but I can't really change that anyway. And obviously I'm not going to use this Satjit because I already have the legendary version. This is just one I crafted because I happen to have the resources. I wanted to see what I got, and it's actually fairly good. So if you get an epic Satjit, don't fret. It's I'm sure it's fine for most players. So like I said earlier, after actually getting the ship, you also need to level it up, and it's very expensive in gold, having to go all the way from level 1 to level 28 in my case here. And of course that's you know, a little bit easier with an epic ship because you don't use the like the planks made for legendary ships. But you know, again, it's up to you what you have the most of. So the skills I'm showing here are the ones you will get if you purchase the ship outright. So large caliber broadsides, pretty good attack and critical damage, I like that. Heavy artillery, you know, a little bit slower basic attack, but you do 70% more damage. And then, like I said before, the third skill I think is really good combat experience, like ups your armor and your artillery damage up to 3 times. And then of course the ultimate skill, bombard, I think is the best one as well. So, you know, I don't have to refine the skills on the ship at all. It's just ready to go, basically. Now, what you do have to keep in mind is that you have to, you know, accessorize your ship with new items here. And this is just to show you, like, these aren't leveled at all, and they're all level 21. They should be 25, but just, you know, ignore that for the time being. What you want for this ship is Queen of Revenge, right? So it boosts your artillery damage by 10%. And you want 4 of them, so you'll do 5% more artillery damage and receive 3% less damage, right? So that's a pretty good build for Satjit. Now I don't have Satjit active in my fleet yet because I don't have the captain I need. So that brings me to you know, the heroes you should put on this ship, and obviously Ophelia is the captain you want on your Satjit. She's really powerful, one of the most powerful heroes, even you know, even in trials as well. She's real nasty. She does artillery damage, so she's the one I'm waiting for before I actually start using this ship. And then first mate, I would pop Sharky. He's just you know, pretty good all-rounder, and on the other hand, I don't really have anything better. So for the time being, Sharky is the man. And for the gunner position, I'd say Kilan Ting. But you can see my key is only rank 2, and that's another thing I need to sort out before I actually start using this ship. Because if I just use the ship now, my drowning ship is actually more powerful. So I'm going to wait till I get key up to a higher level, and of course I actually get Ophelia as well. Should be a few weeks. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this little explanation here on the new Season 3 Legendary ship, and I will see you out there.